This is Old School Heart, and thank you for coming back to my channel. This is once again a channel where I do reviews on current events, music, and television shows, also hair reviews. I've already did a review on Queen Sugar episodes 1 through 3 last week, so go ahead and take a look at that. Like and subscribe. Today's video is actually going to be on Tamela Mann's new album called One Way. I'm very excited to be doing this review because I have never ever listened to a Tamela album the whole way through. And I'm gonna tell you why really quickly because I know you're like, why would you review this one if you've never really reviewed any of her other albums? Okay, so I will say this. I love Tamela's voice. I have always loved Tamela's voice from the very first album that I heard her on Kirk Franklin. Um, she has a beautiful voice, and I will say this. I loved her voice so much. I was kind of at a loss when they all broke up after that Lean on Me album that Kirk Franklin did, the one with Down by the Riverside on there. He Loves Me, all of those wonderful songs that Tamela sung on with the rest of the choir. So when he let go of those guys, I still really loved Kurt, but I also missed Tamela and David, and I missed I believe the other big guy's name was David too. He had a beautiful voice. He's the one on Conquerors and Let Me Touch You and See If you're a really old gospel head like me or a gospel lover like me, you know those songs from Kurt Franklin CD. So when she wasn't on those CDs, I was really sad because I loved her voice. But here's the thing. I love her with Kurt. That's the only person that I want to see her with. I don't want her working with anybody else. And so those first couple of CDs, it really wasn't that good to me. Nothing really stuck out to me. But what did stick out is Take Me to the King, in which when I first heard that, I was like, I didn't even have to know that she was working with Kurt again. I just knew that they had worked together on that song. Just put it that way. When I first heard that, and I believe I heard it live on a television award show first. I don't know which one, the Trumpet Awards, I believe, but or Celebration of Gospel, I'm not too sure. But I had already knew that she was working back with Kurt because the song sounded like he just made that for her, because there was a way that she sung that song that reminded me of songs that she sung with him back in the day. And so I already knew those two had started working together again. And so that's when I started to pay more attention to Tamela Mann musically again. I'm not going to say I didn't support her on Tyler Perry Plays because Lord knows I have all of the plays with her in it. And I'm not going to say I didn't support her on her show that she did or any of the movies that she did. I supported her and everything else. I just couldn't get with her on her music. And that's because I just felt like those two have a chemistry. Almost like Brandy has one with Dark Child. Almost like Janet Jackson had one with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Like those types of chemistries is almost like a husband-wife relationship. Those two just fit well together. And so I was so excited when she said that when Ashley Kurt said on Facebook that he was working on her album and that he had a couple of songs that he was going to be doing with her. So totally excited that they have reconciled, because there was, of course, a big beef with Kurt Franklin and the family. And I'm glad that half of those people that he worked with, he's still cool with. I just wish that he would be friends with David, and not David Mann, the other David, the one that sung on Conquerors that I was talking about. So here we go. Let's get into the review. Let me start babbling on and let me give you what I think of the album. So this album starts off with One Way. And One Way reminds me of Mary Mary's Something Big Done Happened to Me, or what they call Something Big, from the second to last CD that they did. It's a rocker. Of course, you want an album to start off with a lot of beat, with a lot of like umph to it. And so she brings the umph in One Way. And once again, like I said, it reminds me of something big. It reminds me of something that you would want to start off with, since she is by herself, since she is solo. You want something that will make the person tap their feet or turn their music up. So that made me want to turn my music up, made me want to, a little bump, a little something like that. So that was cute for a first song. And then I will say this: the album flows pretty good. It kind of goes two fast songs, three slow songs, two fast songs, kind of goes in and out like that, which is standard for gospel music. So I kind of get that. Then the next song we have is the one with Timbaland. It's called Through It All. I will say this: I don't ever have a problem with gospel artists working with non-gospel artists. I do not call it secular music versus gospel music, because I feel like this. Music is music. I don't call anything secular, because I don't want it to be so set apart that we cannot relate to others, or we're so set apart that they cannot relate to us. So Timbaland is just another artist. And so I don't have a problem with gospel artists working with different people. Um, so unfortunately, I would say this: when you have a name like Timbaland, you automatically think that it's going to be a hit, and it wasn't for me. It was like the girl said in Sister Act. It was good for what it was, but it wasn't all that. That's kind of what I got from it. I loved the beat. You can clearly hear it's Timbaland's beat, almost like he mouthed the beat himself. But I didn't need his voice on there, and I also didn't need him on there. The song was very, very deep. It had very, very deep lyrics, and so I think, unfortunately, it's hard to do a song like that and not have a more serious. I don't know if you want to say a serious beat, but I want to say something that makes those two correlate together, if that makes any sense. I didn't really care for it, but I'm glad that she chose somebody outside of who she would normally choose to collaborate with her on the album. He didn't sing or anything on the album. It just wasn't all that. And I mean, sorry, it just wasn't. So this is where it gets into the praise and worship. After that song is gone, then the praise and worship starts to flow. And it starts off with Jesus again. And so it's a really melodic praise and worship, almost like a song that you can kind of sing on Sunday morning with some fine tuning. It's a great praise and worship song to go into. And then of course it goes into the song I believe Kurt Franklin produced, which is God Provides, which he it's just dope. The piano is dope behind her, and the way that she brings out the lyrics in that song is just amazing. If I had to put that song, it'd probably be my number one song. And I'm not just saying that just because Kurt is on here. Because I know y'all know I got a heart for him. But I'm saying it's a really sweet worship type song. And so that keeps going. And we get into We Exalt Your Name. And We Exalt Your Name is like, if I had to choose a song that you can most definitely do at church to start your praise and worship, this is the song that you'll be able to do. If you don't use this for praise and worship, if you don't have singers that can go there, I will say that you can use this for a praise dance if you want. I'm really not into mimes, and I'm not really going to get into why I'm not in miming at church or church mimes. But I will say you can praise dance to this, and you most definitely can do this as a praise and worship song. And this is a song that she also does with her daughter, Tia. And their voices together is like butter. It's so sweet. And Tia comes in melodically through different parts. It's very subtle. I can't say that word today. It's very subtle, but it's very sweet, and it's very loving, and to me it's one of the top praise worship songs of the CD. So you will really, really, really enjoy that. And then to me, after God provides, I'm sorry, but my favorite song is Potter. And Potter, you know, it didn't seem like it would have that name at first, but then you listen to the lyrics and then you understand why Potter, um, why it's called Potter. But the reason why I loved Potter is because it's a song that I just kept singing even after it was done. Um, and I'm not gonna sing for y'all, even though I can sing a little bit, but I'm not gonna sing for y'all. But I loved Potter. And even now I'm thinking of it and I'm gonna hum it, but I'm not going to hum it. But I did really, really love that song. And I love those three songs all together flowed. It was just great because it kept you in worship mode. And that's what you want to do when you're listening in your car. You want to go from praise to worship to back into praise if you want to. Like I said, gospel songs are produced that way. So we have Potter, and I think that's going to be the second song to be released. If not, Tamela, that needs to be your second song. If not, let that be your second song. Then then it would be the next song on the list, which is Change Me. And Change Me is Change Me ain't no joke, y'all. Change Me, of course, all churchy people will like Change Me. I necessarily don't need to have a really churchy song, but um, I understand the need to make sure that we have old school Tamela from back when she worked with Kurt Franklin in that first CD that they did. Actually, the second CD. I keep saying the first CD. Clearly, the second CD. The second album that Kurt Franklin did is the one that I'm talking about that she participated the most on. So, um, this one gives me that feel. It's very churchy. What I mostly loved about it was the Tremaine Hawkins change that they put into it. Um, I would say this. I don't like nobody messing with Tremaine Hawkins songs, but I was okay with her messing with Tremaine Hawkins songs. Usually I'm not. Usually I can be quite a you know what about Tremaine Hawkins songs, and that's because it's Tremaine Hawkins. She did an amazing job. I really don't want nobody else to touch it. That's almost like I don't want nobody to touch Lauryn Hill's the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I just don't want nobody to do it. But Tamela Mann is a great ad libber and she's a great singer. So I love that she did it. I just don't want nobody else to touch it. How about that? That is so mean, but I have such a love for Tremaine Hawkins. I just don't want nobody else to I just don't want nobody else to touch it. So then we go on to For My Good. It seems that a lot of people like For My Good, but for me it was okay. It's something that I can skip and you can skip if you want to. Also, you can skip Press because that was not all that either. Um, and those are the two next songs. I don't even really have nothing to say about them other than they okay. Like that's just I don't really care for them. Then it goes into Greater. And let me just say this. This is gonna sound rude, but it's literally not rude. I'm not trying to be rude. On every CD nowadays, gospel artists have to do one pop song or one water, no meat type song. And so Greater is that song. So if I had to give you an example of those types of songs, Kurt Franklin did one on his on the latest CD, and that one was oh, it's the sound of love. I think that's the name of the song. And I told you I wasn't gonna sing, and then I ended up singing. But "Sound of Love" was a song, and it's pop. It's cute, but it's pop. Anthony Brown did the same thing with "Testimony." And those kind of sound. Actually, Anthony Brown's Testimony kind of sounded like Kurt Franklin's song that I can't even think of right now. But Anthony Brown does the I'm a living something testimony. It sounds like that. And so every Christian artist now has to do this. And it's basically a song that can possibly cross over, if you want to call it that, cross over to pop charts or cross over to R&B charts. But it's one song that you can skip. You ain't gonna like it. Um, no, oh my goodness. That is not it. It's not Greater. That's not the very last song is the one that I'm just talking about. Greater is a song to me that sounds like something that Dorinda Clark would do or Lisa Page Brooks would do. It's really a churchy female gospel artist type of song. It's really like, clap your hands, like stump your feet type of song. I really feel like Dorinda could do it. And it just seemed like a song. Y'all gonna be mad at me. It just seemed like a song a person over 50 would sing, a woman over 50 would sing. It really has an old school beat to it. Kind of reminds me of something that came out like in 93, 94. That might have been hot then. It's something that Karen Clark might have done. Actually, Karen was before her time, so I'm not going to put Karen in this, but I will say it sounds like a song that Lisa Page Brooks could do, or most definitely Dorinda. I think those two, they can switch that on out and it'd be just fine. So actually, that last song was the pop song, and clearly, it's the pop song because everybody puts these types of songs last. On Kurt Franklin's last two albums, the pop song was last. On Anthony Brown's last CD, the pop song was last. So every artist seems to be doing this. But overall, the CD was amazing. Out of I believe this song has 10 songs. Out of the 10 songs that she did, she got a good 5. So I would say you need to pick up this album. You need to listen to it. And please check out Potter. You're going to be singing that a lot. And you're going to be singing the song that she does with her daughter a lot. And that one was We Exalt Your Name. You won't have a problem getting through the whole album. It's just not necessary to get through the whole album. And that sounds kind of bogus, but this is not an all the way play through album. There's 2 songs that you probably will skip, maybe even 3. But I would say check it out for yourself. Most definitely support her because she's an amazing artist, and we want to keep artists that sing very well live out there. We most definitely want to do that. So thank you for tuning in to this review. Please go out and buy her album. Once again, it's Tamela Mann. Tamela Mann, One Way. Once again, I'll be doing different types of reviews coming up. Please look out for the review. On Atlanta tomorrow, and then we'll be back to Queen Sugar. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this. I need more subscribers and I need your help. So if you like this video, please share it with others as well. And thank you for tuning in to review number 2. Have a good day.